Welcome back to Razmafsar TV. I'm happy to have Bede back on our channel. Hi, Bede. How are you?
Good.
Bede, how is life in Australia?
Very warm. Uh, it's very hot at the moment. It's going to start raining in a day or so, so it's going to go from warm to wet, but it'll still be warm, I think. Um, it's there's been some unfortunate events which didn't happen a long way away from me. Um, but other than that, things are reasonably good. Uh, I it's now early summer here, so I'm pretty certain today, like where I was doing my archery practice near the coast, it was about 31, 32 degrees. But 15 kilometers to the west, still inside Sydney, 38 degrees. Another few kilometers, 40 degrees. So it was quite a hot day in that kind of Sydney Basin area. Um, so you kind of, I know you're in winter and
It's very
this
cold
is
here. It's
yeah.
freezing here.
See, right at the moment, because my neighbour's tree hangs over into my yard, there are all these baby mangoes about this big overhanging my yard. And he's a very kind person, so he said I can have anything on my side. 1 year, 50 mangoes on my side of the fence.
Oh, that's very nice. Just one question. I'm sure of you asked. I asked you this question many times, but just yesterday, a member of Razmafsar TV channel asked me to ask you, Bede. Can you see
Mhm.
the beach, the sea where you live? Do you have an overview?
No, I live about 20 kilometers from the coast.
Oh,
At the bottom of my street is a river, which
oh,
if I got in a boat would take me to Botany Bay.
oh,
Um, but where I go to archery, I'm 1 kilometer from the beach because
uh-huh.
my archery club is in Coogee, which Coogee Beach is very famous. Um, we, I mean, by public transport, it's relatively easy to get to beaches. By car, it's very easy. Um, so when I was much younger, in my 20s, before I drove much, I didn't drive much when I was in my 20s. I used to get a train to Bondi Junction, um, and then a bus down to Bondi Beach, and then walk along Bondi Beach and Tamarama Beach and Bronte Beach, and all the way down to Maroubra. And then you could like this 3 hour walk just walking along beaches.
Beautiful.
So it's really nice. It's very relaxing. When the wind comes off the water, even on hot days, it'll cool you down.
Yes.
But in the middle of the summer, the water is reasonably warm.
Yes.
But people go swimming in the middle of winter as well. It's a popular sport to go swimming in winter. And there's a club in Bondi called the Bondi Icebergs
Can
because
you
that's
can you wind no, not windsurf. Can you wave surf there? Is it possible
oh
to
yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
possible.
this the beaches are generally set up so that there is a patrolled area where there are lifeguards for swimmers and they people surf on either side of that, basically. So the surfers have you can go down to the beach and just watch people surf all day if you feel like it, or go surfing yourself. It's a
So you have big waves which allow you to surf, correct?
oh yeah, the weather is the controller of how big the waves are. So like one day it might be 1 meter high, and the next day it might be 3 meters high,
Okay.
depending. And there are some areas where the waves are really big because of the shape of the seafloor under the water, but there's also strong rips that drag you off in different directions.
Is it
So
true
some
that in
places,
Australia you are not allowed to swim in only in, where you have lifeguard you can swim? You cannot just go and swim anywhere you want. Is it true?
it's discouraged, but there's, I mean, sometimes beaches are closed because of sharks.
Yeah.
If a big shark's spotted, they'll close the beach. But normally speaking, people do swim outside the designated area. If you're really experienced and you know the area, maybe it's a good idea. I admit I used to do it occasionally. I wasn't really experienced, but I enjoyed the water. And but if you've got a family or anything like that, you don't want to be doing
No,
that.
no, no, of course not. No, no, no.
If you're strong, I mean, people drown, but people drown for a lot of different reasons. Um, the predominant one is going swimming at night after drinking
Yeah.
because alcohol and swimming do not mix.
No,
I
no.
mean, if you think it's dangerous to drink and drive, drinking and swimming, sometimes your breathing reflex can stop
Stops. Yes.
and you just drown.
Yes.
So it's one of those things that they tell people about just to kind of, because the problem is if you have a party on the beach, then there's going to be people that have drunk alcohol and maybe not in perfect control of themselves. So it can be dangerous. There's
No.
lots of little beaches too, like the Sydney is surrounded by big national parks.
Yeah.
And I used to go with some relatives when I was a little boy. We used to go down to a place called Geary Beach in the Royal National Park.
Yes.
And this, you drive down through forest
Yes.
for half an hour, and there would be this little beach with cliffs on either side or whatever, and beautiful, like curved, like a crescent shaped beach.
Yes.
So there's spots everywhere. And of course, if you want to live long, you try and only swim where there's because the advantage of where the lifeguards are is they're keeping a watch out for sharks. They have drones in the air and things like that.
Yes.
And they're trained in rescue and resuscitation. So people get into problems for different reasons. You may have a heart murmur or something like that.
Yeah, of course.
And you suddenly don't have the strength to swim, and somebody can come out, put you on a board or whatever, bring
Yes.
you back, give you resuscitation. They have defibrillators, all kinds of useful things, and they're trained. I mean,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
these are all volunteers too. I mean, they're very, I would say, very brave.
Yes.
It's one of those things that you don't realize until you see what people have to do.
Yes. Yes. Very brave.
Uh,
Extreme.
yeah,
Absolutely.
but yeah, beaches are beautiful. This time of year is perfect for beaches. Just put a lot of sun cream on because the UV level is incredibly high. You might notice this is from 1.5 hours archery in the sun. My
Yeah.
nose is in.
The nose gets it
Uh,
the first. Yeah.
yeah,
Definitely.
I've got a spot right there that's white because that's where my sunglasses sit, where the little nose band is. That never gets any sun.
That's
But but
uh,
it's they're really nice. There are a lot of cliff walks between the
yes.
beaches, so there are particular paths set out by the local government,
Yes.
things with benches and paved areas and that, where you can walk along the cliffs and down to where the beaches are and then back up on the other side. It's really very scenic. And once a year they have a big art exhibition called Sculptures by the Sea, and they set up all these sculptures along.
Yes.
It's really, I mean, it's all free.
Yeah.
You just wander along and have a good time.
Beautiful.
There's wildlife and whatnot. When a friend from China who we met in Korea, traditional archery thing, who used to live in Ireland, it gets more and more complicated, came out to visit us. Or did we meet him we might have met him, so many different places we met people. And he and his wife came out and we're walking along one of these cliff pathways. And I said, look at that little bird. And there was a tiny little bird that big
Oh,
with bright blue cheeks. And it's called a magnificent blue wren. And these are the prettiest little birds you've ever seen. They're like a little ball with bright blue cheeks and a little pointed tail sticking out the back. And the males are always, dancing around to impress the females. And when I was a little boy, they were everywhere in Sydney. They depend on the type of gardens people plant. They're insect eaters. They like lots of places to hide from the bigger birds. Um, but here you are walking along this thing, and there are just absolutely amazing little animals and birds and everything popping up out of nowhere. It's really nice. For the people that live there, you know why they pay such huge amounts of money for their houses.
so today we are going to talk about our new book that my daughter and I published, and we are going to talk about it. So this is a very special one. So let me just explain why it is so
Ah,
special for me. This is special, first of all, because I published it with my daughter. right? So I'm really honored with Niloufar, right? That's I have
Mhm.
published this. So, and this is the cover of the book. The cover of the book reveals already. This is a combination of Persian meals, and you can see
Mhm.
also a catalog of Persian Iranian wooden spoons, handmade wooden spoons from the Qajar period, early Qajar to the
Mhm.
end of the Qajar period. Some of them are dated, and also Persian arms and armor at the end. So from the art
Yeah,
of Persian cuisine to the science of steel metallurgy. Now, why did we
that's
combine? The idea is completely my daughter. Because my daughter, for example, realized or said something very interesting. For example, she said, if you look at these Persian, if you want to call ash or soup, which has this
mm.
green color background, it
Is that Fezan
resembles,
John?
yes. Listen, yeah, and
Well,
then this is Kashkabad John, yes. For example, they resemble some patterned crucible steel. And then she said that I spent lots of time with my grandma, my mother, grandma, and then learned the art and craft of doing
mm.
and preparing Persian meals. So she took lots of notes and she said, why don't we write a book? And this is related because lots of Persian food also you need time to prepare. You know that. We always say Persian cuisine is time consuming. The more you let it cook or let it the stew and all these things like, the better it
Mhm.
gets. Like preparing Persian crucible steel and pattern crucible
Mm.
steel. So that's the idea of this book, which came and now up and my daughter said it and we so these all the meals you see here are the recipes of my mom and my daughter prepared them together with her
Mhm.
and took
Oh,
notes.
that's wonderful.
Yes, and took notes. And then in the catalog part there are also important collection never seen before. One of them is a collection of Persian shamshirs, a very beautiful one, impressive by an Italian, famed Italian collector, Guido, Mr. Guido, so last name, whatever. And also, we have also a collection of Persian shamshirs from a Polish collection and also from some other collections, right?
Oh,
And
that's
you see that.
so good.
Beautiful, right? Beautiful. And also Dutch collections as well. So it's at the end of it.
Mhm.
So that's the idea of this book, which was just published 2 weeks ago, right? Printed 2 weeks ago. Yes. Yes.
That's wonderful. I really, I think the kind of collaboration of father and daughter is a good thing just by itself. That's really
Yeah.
nice to see.
Yes.
And it's also good that the two people involved bring their own specialities,
Yes.
which is, though, to be honest, we all eat, and Persian food is particularly nice.
Yes.
I, I, I've got to say,
Yes.
30
And
years of eating Persian recipes.
and what she did as well, what we did as well, I mean, the book starts with okay, the introduction, whatever, like as always, but then on the left side is in English, on the right side is in Persian. And this includes the catalog on arms and armor. So the first time you can read about Asadullah, about Kalbali, about Persian crucible steel making, all not only in English but also in Persian. So it's in two languages, right? So
That's a very good thing too, because first of all, if say you're learning Persian, you're getting if you're an English speaker, uh, you get the advantage of you can see what a good English translation of the Persian looks like. If you are a Persian speaker but don't speak English, then this is access to something that you would never see otherwise. And if you're just a person who speaks Persian and English but doesn't feel that your English is up to a high level, you can always check the Persian part to find out what it really means. And therefore, you may even improve your English understanding as well. I like bilingual things. I find them, I've got books that are bilingual in, well, I actually have one in Farsi and English, but I've got books that are bilingual in Chinese and English. And, well, I've got a few that are in Russian and English too,
very
and
good.
some one. I've got one book on art on Azerbaijani painting that is in Azerbaijani, Russian, and English,
That's
which
funny. Interesting.
it's pretty good.
Yes, absolutely. So this is this, and what we can then see. Why isn't it changing? Excuse me, Pete. Let me just see.
Are you in editing mode?
Why am I in editing mode? Just let me see. Yeah, exactly. Let me just stop and share again. I don't know what
That's all
happened,
right.
Pete. I have no clue what happened. Why am I? Okay, let me just see again. It is also not sharing
That
again.
looks right.
I don't
Yeah.
know what happened, Pete. Let me just get and
Yeah.
okay.
Fine. That's fine. I
Yes,
years and
no
years of working with
technical
computers,
problem.
I've
Never
seen
had that
everything that can go
before.
wrong go wrong.
Yes, I never had this when we had interview. This is really strange that I'm having it now.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see now.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah. Okay, now it works. Exactly. No, exactly. So
Oh,
yeah, this is the front page cover, but the cover is misleading because it's only in English, but then the inside the book is we will see. So it's
in
the
plastic.
at
Yeah.
the back. Look at this bead. Persian
Oh,
bazoo band. Okay, there are some examples: shield, kolachut, and pishkabs, and another hide shield. Right. So
the painted hide shields are really works of art. You
yeah, they
don't
are.
see very many of them though.
No, that's true.
I'm sure that there are quite a few in private collections, but
Yes.
unless the collector wants the world to see, they don't know they're there.
Yes, this is also indeed in a private collection, and so you can
Mm.
see that. And I mean, just to give some examples, this is in was in Dr. Hofmeister collection. This is in Dr. Walkowski collection, Dr. Walkowski collection, Guido, the Italian. So these are two are German collections. This is a Dutch collection. This one. So just to see to see the international nature of this collection, right? But
Well, this is the popularity of Persian weapons
yes,
is remarkable. It's like Japanese weapons, you know.
yes,
You don't have to be particularly interested in the culture, though most people that do
yes,
collect get interested in the culture, but it's just the quality of the items, the goods, the objects is
yes.
so intriguing.
Yes, exactly. So this is this, and for example, just for you guys to understand and to see, this is how the khoresh ghormeh sabzi is made, and and then there are some explanations. For example, as you see in English, then some
Mhm.
explanations of translations in Persian. Then there is always a geometric sign that my daughter decided she's into design. You see that, and
Mhm.
then you see khoresh ghormeh sabzi here, and then according to her this color background resembles this, so you put a pishkabs here. But then this pishkabs is again in the catalog, explained well. But that's the connection my daughter made. You understand?
I think that's really interesting because when you think about it, the swirling pattern of crucible steel is actually like something that's cooking.
Yes. I have to
I
say,
would never have thought of it.
yeah, I have to say to everyone here, this has not been my idea. Bede knows the way I work. Bede knows that. I have been
Yeah,
working with many colleagues, and I would love to thank Bede because Bede always said, "Oh, he appreciates my honesty." Guys, I always give credit to people I work with. Remember, Bede, right? So, and I have to
that's
say
very
this.
true.
This is not my idea. This is completely my daughter's idea. And she just turned 18 and she already is going to finish her first semester and she studies. She's going to the business administration, but her specialty is design,
Mhm.
fashion and design, and for all these high level fashion and design things, and also product placement. That's why she's into design. So that's what she did. So the design is of her.
Look, I think it's really insightful to make the connection.
Yes.
Um,
You see?
because yeah, it's see everyone talks about water steel and swirling patterns of water, but when you think of it, it's more viscous than water. It is more like a stew, like an arch.
Yes, exactly. So you see, for everyone, I don't know if I have more. Okay, for example, okay, this is not from the book. It's just my computer did that. But this food as well, you see that. For example, you see that here. Then in the book, you see the food on the other side, right? Like here, and then there is a weapon. Each time there is, this is for example, badem John. This is Persian eggplants, right? And then you
Mhm.
see on the other side another geometric design. Here is different. You see that. Then again, you see the food there. Then there's another weapon. So on each page of cooking, right, a meal, you see the same pattern as you see it here in English, in Persian, a geometric sign, a close up of the food, you see the food, and you see a weapon. So
Mm.
that's the way my daughter made a connection, the whole book during the cooking.
Oh, I think it's great.
So she spent like weeks and months to make this connection. I said, "Can you, And she was, I need time. I need to think about it." So all these connections, what type of geometric design, and what type of food can be associated with what type of pattern crucible steel is all her idea.
As I say, it's a remarkable idea, and
Yeah.
so far I can see the resemblances she was looking at. I mean, it wouldn't jump out to me,
Yes. Yes.
but you've got to have insight. You've got to have a different way of viewing things.
Yes. And then according to Niloufar, this is a very good way of looking of these items because everyone likes food, Persian food, everyone likes
Yeah.
it. And then she said,
Hmm.
this is going to show another aspects of Persian weapon making because then you're not only talking about weapons as instruments for whatever warfare, but
Hmm.
you're going to look at it again even more as a piece of art, which is I think for all of us is
Well,
also important, right?
I think the other side of that in reverse is it also reminds you that food is art as well.
Yes, exactly.
So
Food
it
is
goes both directions. And as a person who very much likes food, um, I can see I see this as a sharing backwards and forwards between the two art forms.
yes.
Um, and when you see some of the descriptions in the sword making manuals about how they mix together the components, it really is like cooking.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like cooking,
I
exactly.
think this is a really good idea.
Yes. So she came up with this, and I see that also again in Persian and in also in English. Just because someone asked me, yes, my children were they were raised multilingually. They also went to international
Mhm.
school. Also on the weekends they went to the Persian school. So Nilofar is fluent in Persian as well. She can also write Persian. So because people say, "Oh, is she?" I
Yeah,
say, "Yeah, of course she is." Right. So you
no, it's
see.
brilliant.
Yes, you
Oh,
see, this is, for example, a card from the book. I mean, these are all, you see that next to the food, you see one of them, but I just want
mhm.
to show you the quality of items of arms and armor which are shown in the book. Please take a look at this card bead.
Oh, and looking at the way the flowers have been inlaid and in, well, they're kind of raised, aren't they?
Yes, they are raised.
Um,
They are,
but
in Persian, we say,
they're closer to Persian paintings than a lot of the other metalwork is.
yes,
This is much more artistic
yes,
in its execution rather than just being patterns.
yes.
Uh,
In Persian,
it,
we call this method zarneshan. Just for Persian speakers to mix up zarneshan and tahneshan. No, they're not the same thing. Both are inlaying, but zarneshan comes up, raised, as Beat said. Tahneshan is flat,
yeah, yeah.
just to make a difference.
That gold work on that's brilliant. I like cards as knives. I think they're a really good design of knife for practical purposes.
Yes,
But the fact that you can make them look so decorative
yes,
without affecting their function,
yes,
because it's interesting where the decoration's put. It's not put where it gets in the way. I mean, sometimes you see swords covered in gold and you wonder what would happen if you had to use them.
yes.
But this is just simple, perfect placement.
Okay, for everyone here who is looking at this book, the selection of which pieces of arts and arms and armor go into the catalog is also done by Nilofar. Very picky. So she rejected items which I said they are great. She said, no, I don't want them. They don't look good. So she's extremely picky, which goes
Hey,
into this book.
that's good too. That's good. You've got to have
Yeah.
standards.
Yeah, she said, "Oh, this one looks very weapon-like. I don't want it there, there, right? Because there
Mm.
was, for example, a sword without any inlaying. It was just a crucible steel. No, I don't want this one. I need something more beautiful. So it's interesting, right? Just to see that.
It's good to see a different perspective.
And then it has also a
Also,
collection.
sherbet. Yeah.
Yes, exactly for sherbet and sharbat, as we say in Persian, sherbet,
Yeah.
and these are. Um, you know that the Maroc was one of the centers of making them. There are different centers. I'd explain about this in my
Mm.
in our book together.
Yeah.
Uh, Apologies, I said in my book, our book, because it's the first time I publish a book. I have published lots of articles, also with Dear Bede, but this is the first time I need to get used to it, right? Our book, and this is, as you can see it, Bede, all handmade. Take a look at that; they're beautiful. When I had them in
The
my hand
piercing.
to take
Mhm.
photographs, unbelievable how delicate they
Yeah,
are.
yeah, this level of woodworking is, I mean, it's done like it was a piece of metal, but the person doing it had to understand the wood perfectly. Otherwise, you can't do that kind of piercing. It falls apart. It's
How
really
did they
hard.
make it be that the wood didn't break? When I had them in my hand, I always asked myself, my God, how did they do it? It's wood, it's not
These are,
metal.
yeah, but the way that's cut is by using jeweler's saws, as a jeweler would do piercing. This
Ah,
is much more like jewelry than it is like cutlery. Um,
oh, okay,
but
okay.
I really like the way they've done it. I think it's really good. Uh, haven't had sherbet for a long time. I've never had it out of a spoon. That sounds like a wholly good idea.
Yes.
Uh, but those classic kind of spoons that they look like they've been folded out rather than carved.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really interesting. It's a visual trick, I suppose, but it's a really interesting effect.
How did they
And
get,
it's
Pete, how did they make this part? The
I,
head of it?
I'm they've carved it out of a solid piece of wood to look as though it's been folded, like you fold a piece of paper or something.
Yeah.
But it's all done by carving. That's really, really good because you've got to have in your mind a picture of the three-dimensional object that you want to end up with. And then you've got to look at the wood to see whether the grain is going to support that curve or whether it's going to pop out or a piece is going to fall. It's I'm guessing they very rarely made mistakes with these because they examined the piece of wood like a sculptor would examine a piece of marble and look for the flaws and look for the good patterns and everything, and then design the sculpture to match. It's just
I
really
need to say the collector who has this, okay, he collects many of these items, right? And then when I had them in my hand and looking at it, and I said, even back then, it should have been really expensive, right? Not everyone could afford to drinking sharbat from such a thing, right, Pete?
yeah. I think this is true because even though workmen weren't paid a lot of money compared to today, the other people weren't paid a lot of money either. So therefore, this would be quite expensive if you were a normal city dweller or a farmer. You probably couldn't afford this.
Yeah.
But if you were a rich city dweller or owned several farms, maybe you could. I mean, whether see the thing is, I remember from a Turkish exhibition I saw that in a lot of parts of the Middle East they believe that wooden spoons are better because if you drink something hot, you don't burn your mouth, and if you drink something cold, you don't freeze it.
Mm,
So,
right.
I mean, it's like and I've seen like 16th century Turkish spoons with that shape of bowl.
Yeah.
So this must be a really old design that's gone
Yes.
on for, you know, hundreds of years.
Yes.
But a perfect little piece of craftsmanship. Oh, a different one.
Yeah, different one. Okay, you see that I just put it on purpose. On the back, as you can see it here, is less
Hmm.
intricate, which is the
Yeah,
back of it, but on front is much more decorated. That's always like that.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, again, the back is just where the piercings come through, but the front has got carving as well.
Yes, that's right. So these are these things. And now take a look
Oh,
at these swords beat. And you
they're
see,
really nice. So you've got some with the very wide quillins
yes,
and some with the normal, more narrow quillins.
yes,
Uh, different materials in the hilts.
yes.
So ivory is the more yellow one, walrus ivory.
Walrus, exactly.
Yeah, and
Very
then
good.
horn possibly.
Yes, horn.
It's interesting that sometimes they mount the rings on the outside of the curve because these sort really curved shamshears tended to hang upside down like a katana with the
Yes,
edge up.
Yes.
but they often didn't bother changing the fittings on the scabbard. The straps just went up
Yes.
round the side. I've seen that quite a few times, and you see it in paintings like from the time of Shah Abbas.
Yes.
Um,
Some
you
of
see
them
that
are like
kind
that.
of,
Exactly.
yeah.
That's right. Some of them are, exactly look like that. And